Hello, I got something weird today. It's the Boatswain American IPA, the super cheap Trader Joe's craft beer. they make a There are a couple of these different Boatswain IPAs they sell at Trader Joe's for around $1 a can. And it's brewed and canned by Rhinelander Brewing in Monroe, Wisconsin. Trader Joe's has a bunch of their own sort of house brand craft beers, but they're usually made in San Diego. This one's in Monroe, Wisconsin. I think it's always been made there. And I think this brewery makes some other cheap beers. They might make the simpler times lager for Trader Joe's too. I just realized on here it says appearance brown, and that's that what an American IPA looks like. I have no idea what the numbers on the bottom mean. I have no idea if this is fresh, but it's been years since I've gotten this. I used to get it like back when I was just like getting into craft beer, and it was super cheap. It used to be like $4 a 6-pack. Times have changed, but I'm not expecting this to be very good. I give a lot of like good reviews on this channel because I try to only drink beers I think are going to be good and review them, but this one I'm just doing for the heck of it. Ooh, that's not a good sign. It bubbled out a bit, so maybe it's super old. The Trader Joe's where I got this was pretty small, and it seemed like the turnover of the beer is pretty quick, but who knows with this crap. And that is I guess it's pretty brown. I would say it's more of an amber. And it's quite carbonated and hazy. So it's probably old. Let's see. Oh yeah. Brings back the old days of drinking old crappy IPAs. So that's why I think a lot of people don't like IPAs, is because they have mostly drank old crappy IPAs, and still, even though IPAs look different than this now and they're less bitter, still, if you get a really good hazy IPA that's 6 months old, it's not gonna be good unless you somehow get a heady topper that was sitting in a fridge for that long. Those can be pretty good after a while. I think the oldest one I've had was maybe 3 months. I think you had a review of one that was 3 months old. And the head's sticking around, but that's mainly because it's like overcarbed. I don't know if it fermented in there. But it's very big on the sweet caramel maltiness. Yeah, they say our American IPA has a sweet maltiness from roasted barley. These are roasted barley, wow. Crisp bitterness from the high hop level. It says nothing about hop flavor. It's 6.7% alcohol. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't smell that oxidized. But this might have no dry hopping. Probably doesn't have any dry hopping. It smells more like a hoppy amber ale, I guess. So it says 25074. I'm trying to figure out what that means. And I don't know. It'd be weird if it was the Best By date that it was like 2025, like the 74th day of 2025. There's that on there. It's not. It seems almost like a Julian code dating, but it doesn't. That would mean that it was brewed in like the future. So whatever. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. But it's not as bad as I thought. It's not that hoppy. Maybe it's the perfect age where it's not super oxidized, but it doesn't have as much bitterness. It says 79 IBUs, which should be quite noticeable. It's got some body. I think 20 years ago, this is sort of what IPA meant in most parts of America. A little bit of a cherry note, which I don't like, might devolve into cherry cough syrup. But it's a mostly clean beer that's not so oxidized. Interesting. Now some bitterness is coming in, but very little hop character beyond the bitterness, and it's a little piney. and earthy. This actually reminds me more of a British IPA, or like a really strong British IPA. Which I don't even know. Very few breweries make British IPAs anymore in America. I actually had one of the classic microbrew high-rated British IPAs, or maybe they call it American IPA. One called Masala Mama from this place in Minneapolis that I remember 15 years ago. It was like one of the top-rated beers and IPAs on Beer Advocate, and I had it, and I was like, it's kind of like this in some ways. It was better though. I guess it's more bitter than a British IPA, and they probably use American ingredients. But in terms of the look and the maltiness versus the hoppiness, but not much hop aroma. Like, especially with a color like this, it distracts you from any citrus. There's no citrus that does this color. Maybe persimmons. I did not like persimmons when I had that, which that's not a citrus fruit. I don't know what that is, but it was just really sugary and sweet and not bright. This is more like a hoppy amber. It's imperial hoppy amber. Both not much bright, fresh hops, but it is drinkable. I wonder if there's a bunch of sediment or something. Let's see. Not a bunch, a teeny bit. There you go. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you want a blast from the past, and it's only $1 a can. And they also do a double IPA for the same price. It's becoming sort of a meme on Instagram beer meme pages to film yourself going to grab a good craft beer at Trader Joe's, and then suddenly going and just grabbing the Boatswain Double IPA because it's cheap and it's an easy way to get messed up if you get the double IPA. So that's it. A rating for this, it gets a well over a 3, I'd say, but it's far from a 4.